Well, hello there. I'm Larissa Stone, and I am the church. I proudly serve as president on our church council, and I'm a member of the reopening task team. Today, I want to share my story of what serving at Living Waters means to me. As some of you may know, I am a human resource manager for an essential employer, and although I'm very proud of the company in making such important components, military radios, x-ray machines, it's been nothing short of stressful over the last 8 months. As many of you may be experiencing, it seems that you've either lost their job or those that have been fortunate to keep their jobs, it's pedal to the floor. Sound familiar? I don't think I've gone through more stress squishies more than the last couple months. Understandably so, the demands of employees and employers are great at this time. They want fair pay during these times. Employers want an entire safety policy drafted and implemented in hours, days to keep their employees safe. Addressing fears about catching the virus or perhaps fears of unknowingly giving the virus to a coworker. Having to balance heavy workloads, ensuring children are engaging in school and keeping with your work practices at the same time. And having all those days where I sometimes feel overwhelmed, what gets me through my saving grace is 100% serving on Living Waters. I'm energized, I'm hopeful when I attend the weekly online drive-in and worship services. The sermons that Pastor Zach gives empower me, they give me strength. In the summer, I learned to multitask during the sermons. I weed picked while I blasted the sermon going, and I tell you, my landscaping in my backyard has never been so clean, not to mention my kitchen. I'm energized and I'm hopeful when I participate in outside events. I loved being part of the drive-in worship movie. Wonderful to see the eyes and hear the stories of how others are coping and just this feeling that spirit moving through us as we serve together. Attending and serving on the first drive-in worship service and seeing how that all played out. I'm not a baker, but the bake sale, going to the bake sale and seeing Chris and Karen and Joel and Lee and engaging in fun conversations that we haven't had in months. They just kept me talking and I just kept buying and buying more baked goods. And fun fact, whoever made those chocolate brownies with the peanut butter, hands down, family stone favorite. Participating virtually in the crop walk. We weren't able to make it on site for the church that day, but my husband and I went out early and we walked, and it was a great feeling. That actually was our first time at submitting a video onto Facebook Live, and I have to say, sadly, it took us about 10 minutes together to get that video up and running. And our kids had a good chuckle over that. Also, serving on the reopening tasks. Through my work, I've had to write probably 10 COVID policies, so I thought, what better way to share my talent and not reinventing the wheel and sharing those policies that we could use for our church and keeping our members safe. Attending the outside painting gatherings for the Enchanted Forest. I'm not much of a painter, but I brought my daughter Faith, who's a real artist, and it was wonderful to hear the arts team asking her how she's doing, how she's coping. Andrea, Michelle, Annette, Becky, you'll never know how much that meant to her, hearing those words of encouragement and, ideas of where she could start off with an art or a design career. And lastly, I'm energized and hopeful through leading and serving on the church council, hearing the voices of the committee members, the staff, the members, the liaisons, talking through these tough decisions with the council team together. I'm part of the decision making that helps our church improve and get better, such as signing the PPP loan, approving small group gatherings that are so vital to our community, such as the Boy Scouts and the youth groups. They're so impactful. Getting to know the personalities of those on our church council, even on Zoom calls, being able to laugh and throw shade at each other for their football team of choice. making council check-in calls to members, hearing the voices that I haven't heard in months, and sharing our stories together and realizing that we're all in this together. We have common sharing stories, and that God, gives thanks to us in prayer for them being with us. Attending the stewardship meetings, remembering to remember the goodness of God and the strength He brings to us through brainstorming ideas, working with such great leaders on that team, Heidi, Kermit, and of course the three Johns. Most of all, working as a team gives me hope, and having the same common goal as sharing the grace of Christ, serving with our members together, and being the church. As I tell people at my work, this virus has not beat us. It's brought us so much creativity, so much teamwork, so much caring in this world, more than I've personally ever seen, and that alone fills me with hope. We can't give this virus power, but rather trust in God, and He will give us the strength. In closing, I want to thank you for all serving with me and blessing me with the inspiration and hope every day that we will get through this together. It's a pleasure serving with all of you at Living Waters. Please join me and be the church.